Good morning. I'm Mayor Cheryl Brothers. I'm here this morning at the Registrar of Voters in Orange County, and I'm here with Jackie Wu, who is the Community Outreach Manager. And she's going to provide us with some information on the upcoming November 3rd general election and how it works so you know what to do when you vote in November. Because we are able to social distance here, I am going to remove my mask for this program. So Jackie, thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be on site today. This is quite a setup you have here. I'm always fascinated by the operations here. In the early 90s, I got a very close-up look because I was on the grand jury, and one of the things they do is spend the night here with the registrar. It was quite different then. There were tons of paper ballots that had to be brought in and put in counters. So I think it's quite a different operation now, but we're here to hear more about that. So how are you doing now? I imagine it's just getting to be a little bit crazy. And can you share with us what's happening right now? Where are you in the process?
Sure, and thank you again for including the Orange County Registrar of Voters in your weekly update video. What a timely conversation to have, especially as we're approaching the November 2020 general election. So it definitely has been an interesting and challenging time since basically our primary election, right? That was really when the onset of COVID-19 was starting to, really have its impacts in Orange County and California. And we've had to pivot very quickly from the time that we certified the election. We went straight into the City of Westminster recall election, so we had to conduct another election right away. And then again for the City of Santa Ana recall election. So we've had some experience conducting election under COVID-19 already, but with November 2020 being probably one of a major turnout, we're expecting to prepare for all of that return from mail ballots, in-person voting. So right now, currently, we are creating the ballot, and we're recruiting vote centers to serve as in-person voting locations to prepare for the mailing of the voter information guide and the sample ballot, so voters will have that information ready for them.
And I'm sitting in front of a voting station that if you go to a voting center to vote in person, this is more or less what you would see set up in a room like this. Can you share with us a little more about the vote by mail and in-person voting? I know it's going to be different this year. So we have a drop box. We have two drop boxes in Fountain Valley, one at the Senior Center on Bouchard and Talbert, and one on Los Alamos in front of the library. So tell us a little bit about how that's going to work.
Sure. So vote by mail voting is actually extremely popular in Orange County. In the March 2020 primary election, we had a 50.1% turnout and 82% of the voters voted by mail. So it was over 800,000 voters in Orange County chose to vote by mail. For the November 2020 general election, every registered voter in Orange County will receive a vote by mail ballot. Of course, if they prefer to vote in person, they can still do so. And in-person voting will start on Friday, October 30th until Election Day, November 3rd. And during the early voting period between Friday, October 30th to Monday, November 2nd, vote centers will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And on Election Day, we'll have our traditional Election Day hours, which is 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
And if I want to find a vote center, how would I do that?
Sure. So we have several options. You can look in your voter information guide, which will include a list of all of the vote centers, including their hours. And we'll also have a list available online on our website that you can use a mapping tool. You can plug in an address and it'll show you the closest ones near you.
So you have quite a number of drop boxes around Orange County. I understand you're adding a few more even now.
Yes.
I live in Fountain Valley, but I work in another city. Can I drop my ballot in another city?
Yes, definitely. So this is one of the new benefits of the new voting system as compared to the polling place model. Previously, in the polling place model, you were assigned a polling place that you had to go to. This was the only one that you would show on the roster. But because we've transitioned to the vote center model where we're now using an electronic poll book as opposed to a paper roster, you can do that exactly. Vote center drop off of your ballot, or even vote center in-person voting.
Okay, so if I work in Irvine and there's a vote center
Yeah.
near my building, I can go there and vote in person or drop it in a convenient drop box.
Exactly.
And the drop boxes are there, they're available 24/7.
Yes.
So if I choose to leave my workplace and go home to Fountain Valley, I can, middle of the night, drop it off there,
Yes.
if that's what I need to do.
That's one of the high requirements that we've set for all of our ballot drop boxes, is that they're available to the public 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's not the true necessarily for other counties that may have it only available during hours open to the public, say for example inside a grocery market or inside of a city hall. All of ours are placed outside for voters to be able to access whenever it's convenient for them. Ballot drop box pickup is conducted entirely by our staff. So they receive special training, they take an oath to be able to collect the ballots from the ballot drop boxes. We do have a schedule that's regulated by the Secretary of State Standards. I believe that it's every other day or every 48 hours in the first 22 days leading up to the election day, but it becomes every day after that. We're currently revising the schedule based on the new voting calendar, but it's one of the things that we will make sure that is in place before we even mail out ballots. While the ballot drop box pickup teams are out there, they're always in constant radio communication with our office, so we know that where they are. Checking in on a map, we can see where they are. The routes are randomized, so that's never someone can follow and they know where they're going to go each day. And additionally, we do follow a very strict chain of custody policy, so we know where the handoff is between the ballots to each staff member.
Well, that's well thought out and very well planned, which I'm sure I knew Orange County would be on top of this. And you have the advantage of having, unfortunately, 2 recall elections to practice a little bit. So if I'm a voter and I don't speak English, can I get assistance at a voting center? I know I can request a ballot in my native language, but if I went to a voting center or I'm in a wheelchair, can you accommodate all those things?
Yes, and thank you for asking that question. That's definitely something that we take a lot of care and looking into to make sure that voting is accessible to those who may speak another language or need accessible voting options. So for voters needing language assistance, Orange County supports several languages under the Department of Justice's Voting Rights Act. So for Orange County, that's Spanish, Chinese, Vietnamese, and Korean. So every vote center will be able to print a ballot in those languages for voters that ask for it. In addition, we also provide video conferencing. So if there isn't someone at that vote center that speaks that language, they'll still be able to connect with someone in our office that can walk them through the process of receiving language assistance and still be able to cast their ballot at the vote center. And of course, at certain vote centers that meet the language requirements, which are set by how many people or voters in that precinct or in the area of that vote center request materials, we'll also assign a bilingual vote center worker there as well.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so there's no language barriers to voting. If I come to a vote center and I'm not capable of working the equipment, which is actually very well thought out, but if I'm struggling with that, can I bring someone to help me, or is there someone at the center that could help me actually with the equipment?
Yes. So by law, you're able to bring another person to help you cast your ballot, as long as they're not your union representative or your employer. So that you can definitely ask someone at our vote center to assist you, or you may bring someone of your choice to assist you with it.
So if you have a family member who's willing to bring you to a vote center and help you, you could do that.
Yes.
That's great. People have been curious about security at a voting center. Did the registrar upgrade the systems? And how confident are we now with the security of the systems we're using?
Yes, and thank you for that question. It is something that is, I believe, still new to a lot of voters in Orange County who are familiar with our old voting system that they had used, I think, for nearly 15 years. We did get a new system that we deployed in March 2020. We had very positive responses to it. Although there is new technology there to enhance for marking for voters with disabilities, it's still not connected to the internet. So we find it very secure that there's an air gap of, for example, someone that may think that it's connected to the network or an internet source. We implement, very secure chain of custody for the ballots for all the different machines that are checked on a daily basis to confirm that the serial numbers match. We also have tamper seals so that if there is some tampering, it'll show on the seal that something has happened and we need to remove it and look into it.
So all the voting now, either in person or by our drop-off ballot, is electronic voting. So what happens with my ballot after I drop it in the ballot box?
Sure. So after you drop it into the ballot drop box, it'll be picked up from our team. It'll come back to our office. We will scan it. And then you can see online on your voter record that it was picked up at this specific ballot drop box and it's been received in our office. And then it moves forward in the verification process. So we look at the signature, see if it matches, and if it doesn't, we'll contact you to let you know that there's an issue, that you'll have an opportunity to cure it before the election is over. And if it counts, we will move it forward in the process, and again, it'll update your record that you can verify online.
Oh, terrific. All right. You've done quite a marketing campaign on this new way we're going to be voting. What other things do you do or have you done to communicate those changes to the public?
Sure. In March of 2020, we implemented a very extensive campaign. If you are a voter in Orange County, I don't think you were able to miss any of the mailers that we sent out. And also we put out billboards, we put out print ads, I think movie ads when the theaters were still open, and on cable TV too, of course. So again, we're planning to implement another multi-million-dollar campaign for the fall so that voters know of all the different ways that they're able to safely cast their ballot and what different precautions we're taking in our office to ensure that their ballots will be counted securely, promptly, and efficiently.
So Jackie, every registered voter will get a ballot in the mail. What do they do if they don't receive a ballot? And by when? When should they expect it?
Sure. So vote by mail ballot mailing will begin on October 5th. And by law, we're required to send out all vote by mail ballots by October 9th. Voters can check the status of their ballot online through OC Ballot Express on our website. They can see the moment it leaves our office, is picked up by the U.S. Postal Service, it's scanned in, and then it's scanned again when it goes out for delivery. So voters can check to see where is it in the process. And if they don't receive one, they can contact our office to request a replacement ballot. And they can do that at any time after October 5th. They can also come to our office if they want to receive it in person, get it in their hand, because I know some voters will prefer that as opposed to waiting in the mail. So that's definitely something up to them. I would generally give it about a week, but of course, for each voter, depending on their preference, that's up to them.
So I came and got a replacement ballot and then mine comes in the mail. Or I have marked my ballot in a way that I didn't mean to, and you can't really, you can't erase
it. Right.
So how does that work when multiple ballots from the same person might get back here?
Right. So we'll void the ones that you have requested on top of over. So the most recent one is the one that we consider as the one being valid, right? So if there's ever a question about, what should I do, I recommend that voters contact our office. Our phone number is 714-567-7600, that they can contact us with any questions about what should I be doing? Do I need a new one? And what should I do with one that I don't want to cast?
Okay. And that phone number will be on your screen?
Yes.
Well, it's impressive that we have all these additional ways now to vote, and the drop boxes are so convenient. So I want to thank you again for the information for our voters, and thank Neil Kelly for being so forward-thinking in this process, and the team for all the hard work you're doing. I know next door they're preparing to print the ballots, which you're putting together right now. And Do you want to add anything for our residents in Fountain Valley?
What I would encourage them is to look out for their vote by mail ballot. It will be mailed again starting October 5th. So I know voters are anxious. They want to start, looking at what's on the ballot. So all of that is coming very soon. But of course, if they ever have any questions, our office is here to help. And we mean that. So again, our phone number is 714-567-7600. Our offices are open from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we definitely want to make ourselves available in case there's any questions. There are plenty of options for voters to be able to vote safely. And we're encouraging voters to be able to vote at home for those who don't want to leave home, because I know that is a concern and a precaution that many are taking now.
So if I vote at home, I have other families that are voting their paper ballot at home. Can one person take all those ballots to a ballot box?
They could.
So I don't have to drop it in person. Someone can drop it for me.
Yes. So there is a new law that allows third-party return of ballots for someone else. There is a section on the back of the envelope that will show you can fill out. I authorize, Mayor Cheryl Brothers to return my ballot for me, and that it requires a signature of both.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so that's a possibility for people who choose not to or are not able to leave home.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, terrific. I feel very confident that this election is going to go smoothly. You've managed in the past and got so many new innovations this time. Am I able to go online on your website and find out if you received my ballot?
Yes.
Is that possible with the new barcoding?
That's correct. So again, OC Ballot Express, you can find it online at ocvote.com/track. So it basically tracks everything in the voting process for a vote by mail ballot, all the way to the time that it's received back by us and where it is in the processing.
Oh, wonderful. So I'll be assured then that my vote was counted.
That's correct.
Received and counted.
Received and counted.
Terrific. Well, Jackie, thank you very much for that information. Some updates for our Fountain Valley community. Businesses who are trying to operate outdoors due to the governor's order can apply at the city's planning department for a temporary emergency use permit. There's no charge for the permit, but we do ask that you apply for one, and there may be some inspection by our fire marshal to make sure that what you're planning is safe and secure. That information is on your screen for the planning department. And the County of Orange has launched their Back to Business initiative, Outdoor Edition, that allows small businesses free access to floor plan software. So you can use their software, lay out your floor plan, and bring that in when you apply for your permit. It helps the process go faster. It will help you with a professional computer program to lay out your restaurant or salon and then what you propose to do. So we could take advantage of that county resource, and contact information is currently on your screen. The County of Orange has launched a second super site for COVID-19 testing at the Orange County Fair and Event Center. It's being operated by 360 clinics, and that's the name of the clinic, that will be conducting not out-of-pocket cost testing, leveraging personal insurance reimbursements and federal government assistance for uninsured, with additional financial support from the county. Starting on Wednesday, August 26th, so it's already going on, the Costa Mesa Super Site will operate Mondays through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Questions can be directed regarding the 360 clinic with their representatives at this number on your screen, 800-446-8888. Was that 4 8s? I lost track. More information about testing, as well as other testing sites around the county, may be found on the Orange County Health Information Line, and that information is on your screen. Tests will be available for individuals and prioritized for testing by the California Department of Public Health, and there is a priority listing. People with symptoms, close contact with people known to have COVID, healthcare workers and first responders, residents and employees of congregate living facilities, and that would be nursing homes, essential workers, which is grocery stores, food supply, utility workers, public employees, and teachers. All of those will have priority appointment available to them. Orange County residents who meet the public health criteria may register online starting now for the 360 clinic, and that contact information is on your screen. Fall classes are just around the corner for Fountain Valley. The classes will be starting on September 9th. Online and in-person registration is available now. These are our community services classes. For information and updates on fall classes, please visit the website information on your screen. There's playground equipment improvement project going on now at Cordata Park. It's underway to replace the existing playground equipment with new and modern playground systems. Construction is expected to be completed by the last week in September. The playground at Cordata Park, of course, is closed during construction, so please avoid entering any fenced or cordoned off area at all times during the construction project. So remember to wash your hands often, even at home. Stay 6 feet apart when you're out, and wear a face covering that covers your nose when you're outside. Stay well until next time.